Hi everyone, Melissa B. Duarte here. Today we're going to tackle essential business English collocations. Collocations are words that naturally go together, and there are no rules with collocations. You just have to learn them. And collocations are paramount. Paramount means incredibly important or the most important in business English because they're used in almost every single conversation, in almost every single report, almost every single presentation. Collocations are essential. So I'm going to go through and break down collocations in different categories, different scenarios: decision making, time management, working with people, small talk. I'm going to break down these collocations in all different scenarios and situations, and there'll be lots of collocations in there for you to learn and work with. With these collocations, I'm going to teach you the collocations, give you a lot of examples. So you really want to train your ear to putting these words together because, again, there's no rules. And a lot of us are really busy. We don't have time to sit and write something 25 times to remember it. So I'm going to go through, give you lots of examples of each of these collocations. Of course, you can always go down into the comments of the video, and I will pin a PDF of all of these collocations which I'm using, so you can upload it to your computer, or you can print it off and work with it and study it. However, at the end of this video, I am going to give you a little quiz with all these collocations. So make sure you watch to the very end. Quiz yourself, test your retention from the collocations which I've taught you, and any ones that are tricky you didn't get, then just rewind and work them again. Go back to the quiz and make sure you've got them all right, and keep watching until you get it 100%. And then you would have locked in those collocations, and you're one step ahead of many other English speakers who are learning English as their second language. Now, again, with collocations, they are tricky, they're not easy, and this is something that's difficult for even advanced level speakers. So if you're working in English, if you're doing business with different countries, working with global teams, if you're looking to emigrate, even passing a test to immigrate, collocations are going to be a big part of your learning. So let's make sure you know all these collocations. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's get started. So decisions and collocations. First one is make a decision. Make a decision. Now, I did a whole video on ways to remember new vocabulary, and I say you have to touch it 5 times. You have to hear it, you have to say it, you have to read it, you have to write it, and you have to repeat one of those. So when I say make a decision, go ahead and repeat after me. Make a decision. Have those words exit your mouth and into your ear. Make a decision. So I'm going to give you some examples here. The board made a decision to expand internationally, or she finally made a decision about her job offer. We need to make a decision before Friday. Now, this may sound easy to you, but so many advanced and upper intermediate English speakers, they do say do a decision, and that is incorrect. So you have to know that do a decision is not right. So again, some of these collocations may sound like super simple for you, but you may be saying the wrong collocation. So it's never do a decision in English, it's make a decision. Make a decision. Another mistake that people have is decide a decision, and that's not right either. So make a decision. So what techniques do you have when you need to make a decision? Or do you find it difficult to make a decision on the spot? On the spot means in the moment. So make a decision. Or what do you have to make a decision about at work this week? If you do need to make a decision, who would you talk to? Who would you collaborate with in making a decision? So that is make a decision. Okay, next one is reach a decision. Now, reach a decision is similar to make a decision, but it's not the same. Make a decision can be independent, like just yourself doing it, or with a group. To reach a decision is you're arriving at a conclusion or arriving at a decision after discussion. After discussion. So, some examples here. The committee reached a decision after hours of debate. So, the committee's deciding whether to expand into a different country. So, they don't know what to do. The committee was meeting. Finally, they reached a decision. So, they made a decision to expand, but you would say reach a decision because that decision was made through a lot of collaboration, a lot of discussion. So reach a decision. Or we took weeks to reach a decision on the budget cuts. So you know you needed to cut some budget or cut some of your budget, cut your expenses at work. You didn't know where to cut that. So a lot of discussion, a lot of reports, a lot of meetings took place and you reached a decision. Or we couldn't reach a decision that everyone agreed upon. So you're meeting and you're talking about taking on a new team lead, and some people say yes, some people say no, and you couldn't reach a decision. So through discussion, you were not able to make a decision. And so that's reach a decision through conversations and meetings. So very important. So to reach a decision is when you're in a longer meeting and you're discussing something. So if your company is hiring someone and you have a couple good candidates, well, you're going to make a decision on a candidate by reaching a decision. So you're going to be speaking with the HR and the hiring manager. Who do you think's better? Who do you think's stronger? Who do you think is a better fit for our company? And then once you actually have made your decision, you can say, we reached a decision because you made that decision through collaboration, through discussions, through research. And that is to reach a decision. Next one doesn't even have decision in it. It's called weigh the options. Now, weigh is this, like a scale, okay, to see what weighs more, what weighs less, what's heavier, what's lighter. So to weigh a decision is really to work on your pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages, upsides, downsides. So to weigh a decision, you're going to reach a decision or make a decision through analysis of pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages. It's a good one. So we need time to weigh the options before choosing a supplier. Okay, so you're going to weigh the options. She's weighing her options about graduate school. So someone's ready to study and she has a couple different offers from different schools, universities, and she needs to now weigh her options. What are the expenses? How far is it? How likely am I to get a job from this degree? The team weighed the options carefully. So a team has two different service providers to work with, and both are quite good. Some cost a bit more. Another one has better reviews. So you have to weigh your options. What are the advantages, disadvantages of each of these? So to weigh your options is you're kind of looking at pros and cons, possibilities, upsides and downsides before you're making a decision. Now, when you need to weigh your options, do you write a list of advantages, disadvantages, of possible outcomes? How do you weigh your options when you need to come to a decision, reach a decision, make a decision? So to weigh your options would be knowing what's pro, what's con, what's advantage, what's disadvantage. So if you're in a meeting and someone suggests an idea or expanding here or taking on a new project or redeveloping an app, you can say, listen, we need to weigh our options on each of these. So before we move ahead, we need to really decide what is the best way to go. What is the best decision? So to weigh your options, weigh my options, weigh the options is to really look at pros and cons, outcomes, possibilities, and where certain things can lead. It's a very good one. Very good one to weigh the options. Okay, next one. Oh, sorry. And the common mistakes with weigh the options, some people do say weight the options. And weight with a T on the end is the noun. Okay, so I can weigh my pen, find out how much it weighs, and now I have the amount of weight, and that's the number. Okay, and measure the options is another mistake many students make. It's just simply not a collocation. We don't say measure the options. It's not a collocation. Draw a conclusion. Okay, so draw. Draw has a couple different meanings in English as opposed to just draw. Draw sunshine or something. So to draw a conclusion, draw can mean to pull near. Okay, so something's drawing you in, it's pulling you near. To draw means to pull you near, and to draw also could be to draw up something. So you're going to do a quick draft of something. Let's draw up a contract. Let's draw up a budget. So here, draw conclusions a little bit different. It's as if you're kind of pulling a conclusion towards you. You're going to arrive at an understanding based on some evidence. So if you have to make a decision, you're going to draw a conclusion, which means you're basing your decision on different bits of evidence and your understanding of a situation. So let me give you some examples here. From the data, we can draw a conclusion about market trends. So, what is the trend of selling pens in this market right now in this location? You don't know. So, you have to run some numbers. Run some numbers means analyze the data. You're going to run some numbers and look at the numbers and find out what's happening with this market and this product. So you can then draw a conclusion of what's happening in this market with this product from the numbers. So you're coming at to an understanding, you're coming to a decision based on the evidence that you have. Next one would be, don't draw a conclusion too quickly. So this is when people make a decision too quickly about something. So someone in a brainstorming session, someone goes, hey, what about this idea? And instead of saying, that's a bad idea, that's not a good decision, you can say, well, don't draw a conclusion too quickly. You didn't really look at the evidence. You didn't really look at my understanding of it. You didn't try to understand it. So don't make a decision that this is bad. Wait a little bit. Don't draw a conclusion. Let me give you more details. So it's a good one. And the last one would be, for my examples here, is the report allowed us to draw some useful conclusions. So we don't know much about what's happening with product A. We don't know much. We have to understand why product A is not selling very well, or the service is not selling very well. So now someone put together a report for us. Now the report allowed us to draw useful conclusions. It allowed us to truly understand what's happening with this product or this project or this service we're providing, and we can base our decisions on the evidence within that report. So you're drawing a conclusion, you're making a decision, coming to an understanding based on evidence. It's a really good one. It's a very strong one. Okay, a common mistake would be to make a conclusion, and you don't make a conclusion. So this is a really common mistake. I've heard this a lot, even through advanced level ESL professionals. So you do not make a conclusion, you draw a conclusion. Okay, next one is base a decision on. This is fantastic. So to base something on something is, what is the base of it? What is the structure of it? What's the foundation of it? So if you base, and base here is a verb, not a noun. If you base a decision on something, you're using evidence or factors as the foundation for the choice and decision that you're making. So I'm going to give you some examples here. They based their decision on the latest research. Okay, so a company is now going to develop a pen that can automatically write in a different language, and it works on a smartphone. Whatever. I'm not good at making examples. So a company is going to develop this pen that's going to automatically translate in different languages, but right on your smartphone. So how did they know that this product was going to be a success? How did they know this product was needed by the market or needed by the consumers? Well, they based a decision or their decision on their research. So they researched what was needed in the actual market in regards to technology and translating services. So if you base a decision on something, it means you have a solid foundation for why you made that decision. So we based our decisions on customer feedback. Okay, so let's say you work in retail or you run a retail company. As you get customer feedback, without customers, you don't have a retail company. You don't have an online store. You don't have a brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is a real store, like a physical store. You don't have the store. So you have to really base your decisions on what products you bring in, what service you provide, what price point you put for your products based on customer feedback. So you based your decisions on customer feedback. Another one, his decision was based on financial considerations. Why did Peter leave the company? He seemed really, really happy. Well, another company offered him double the money. Okay, so he left because he based his decision on financial considerations. He based his decision on money. Okay, so this is really important. Why you make a decision, you base it on something. Some common mistakes is base a decision in. No, it's base a decision on. Now, this is called a preposition. In, on, at, to, with, for. There's lots of prepositions. And just like collocations, a lot of prepositions, well, almost all dependent prepositions, have no rules. That will be another video. So often it's so interesting. I did a whole video on um, 5 parts of English that advanced speakers of or ESL speakers still struggle with. And one of it is dependent prepositions. It's huge, it's a really big part. And collocations kind of play into the same area there as well because there's no rules, they just kind of go together. So you don't base a decision in something. No, you don't base a decision by something, and the decision is not based by something. You base a decision on. Okay, so if you're going to change jobs, what do you base that decision on? If you're going to watch my video and continue watching my video right to the end, what are you basing that decision on? What's the foundation? Is the content good? Is it interesting? Are you learning something? Do you like my voice? Do you think it's useful information for your work? That's the decision you're basing your watching time on. So anytime you make a decision, you have to base that decision on something. So you base a decision. Okay, moving along, we have postpone a decision. Postpone. Well, you probably know postpone. Postpone means to delay. But many people do make the mistake saying we want to postpone to decide. No, it can't be the verb decide. It has to be postpone a decision. And we don't say delay to a decision. No, you postpone a decision. You can delay a decision. It's not as common though. So you want, I mean, there's no reason it's not as common. It just doesn't collocate as comfortably and as commonly as postpone. So postpone a decision. So the board postponed a decision until next month, or to postpone the decision, if you know what you're talking about. Or we postponed the decision due to lack of information. So we had to decide on if it was a good idea to buy new equipment for our warehouse. Well, we're not sure. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough research on this product. We haven't got the reports yet from finance if we can afford it. So we just postponed the decision. We just delayed the decision. We're not going to make it right now. He decided to postpone his decision about retirement. So Bob has been working with the company for many years. He's offered early retirement. Well, he doesn't know what decision to make at this moment. So he's going to postpone the decision about retirement. So he just is not ready to make that decision. So when you're not ready to make a decision, you postpone a decision or postpone the decision if people are aware of it. So how do you feel about postponing a decision? I mean, do you think it's a good idea to postpone a decision? Sometimes if you don't have everything to base your decision on, you need to postpone a decision because you're not ready to make a decision or reach a decision. You don't haven't talked to enough people, you don't have enough data to go on. So postponing a decision sometimes is a very smart idea. Okay, next one is to reconsider a decision. Okay, reconsider means to think again about something you've already decided on. Okay, so we've I don't know, we've decided to move our offices to a smaller office space because half of our staff are working remotely. We just don't need a big office anymore. However, now people are kind of burning out working remotely. They want to come back in the office, or productivity is dipping. Dipping means going down. People are not working as hard remotely. We want them back in the office so we can keep our eye on them. So we need to reconsider our decision to downsize our office. So you already made a decision, but you want to think about that again. So you're going to think again about a choice you already made. Let me give you some examples. The manager reconsidered his decision after hearing the new facts. Okay, so the manager says, listen, we need to fire my team lead. He's not working. People don't work very well with him. He's not managing the team very well. However, let's say the team lead comes in and his team comes in saying, no, this was all these issues were because of the client. All these issues were because of software glitches. Whatever the case may be, now the manager realizes that his decision he first made about firing or getting rid of the team lead, he needs to now reconsider his decision to fire him because he has new facts. Next one, she's reconsidering her decision to leave the company. Okay, so you decide you're fed up with your job. Fed up means you've had enough of something. You're done with something. So you're fed up with your job. You're going to leave your job. You go and sit down with the HR and say, listen, I know I've been with this company for quite a few years. I'm very happy here. However, I feel I need a change. And the HR says, what will it take to keep you here? Isn't that a nice question? And maybe you want to leave, but you say, oh, I'll play this game. So you say, listen, I want this much more per year, and I want my holiday extended by this much, and I want an assistant. And if HR comes back, she's saying, okay, we'll give it to you. Well, now you got more than you ever thought you'd get. So you're probably going to reconsider your decision to leave the company. So you made a decision and you're just going to think again about a choice you already made. Or again, working in business, you have a client and the client says, sorry, we're going to take our business elsewhere. Maybe you're a law firm and they've used your services, they have you on retainer, they use your services frequently. Now they found a new law firm they're going to go with, and you're trying to keep them as a client. So, we ask them to reconsider their decision, or please, can you reconsider your decision? So, this is a decision you made. Can you change it, please? So, to reconsider. So this is great. If someone makes a decision and you don't like their decision or you want them to flip to change their decision, you can say, what will it take for you to reconsider your decision? Can you please reconsider your decision? Or if you've made a decision and then you've decided, no, I don't want to do that anymore, or I have more evidence to base my decision on, then I'm going to reconsider my decision. And again, if you say I'm going to change my mind, that's fine. But it means it's kind of light in business English. It just means I wanted this, now I want this. I'm at a restaurant, I ordered the chicken, now I want the pasta. I just changed my mind. But if you reconsider a decision, just the word reconsider has so much weight to it. It means I really thought about it. I considered all options. I really thought about it. So if you change your mind and you change a decision you made in business English, to reconsider a decision is a lot stronger than change your mind. Okay, next up is reverse a decision. Okay, so previously we had reconsider a decision. So I made a decision. Maybe this isn't the best. I'll do this instead. So that is reconsider a decision. Now, reverse a decision is you're going to cancel the decision that you made earlier, okay, or completely change it. So again, if you're in a restaurant and, and you say, okay, I want the chicken. And then you go, you know what? I'm going to reconsider that decision. I'm going to have the pasta instead. So you've kind of thought a bit more about something, and maybe you don't want to have the chicken for whatever reason. You had chicken for lunch, so you reconsidered your decision. You go with pasta. Now, reverse a decision means you're gonna order chicken, and you realize, you know what? No, I don't want a big meal. I want soup. So you're totally changing it. You're not going from meal to meal. You're going from meal to like a small little soup. Or reverse a decision. You know what? I'm going to reverse my decision, and I'm not going to eat anything. I'm not actually even hungry. I'll just have some breadsticks. So, you wouldn't say reverse a decision at a restaurant. It's too formal. It's too businessy. But hopefully, with that context, it makes sense for you how reverse a decision is different from reconsider a decision. So, reverse a decision. Let's give you some examples here. The government reversed its decision on tax increases. So the government announced they're going to put into place a new tax increase in the following year. Now, a lot of people got upset. A lot of people were discussing these issues of the tax increases, how it's really going to hurt maybe the middle class. So the government reversed its decision. It was not popular. They changed their decision. They listened to the people. Or they reversed their decision after public backlash. So let's say, I don't know, let's say Time Magazine decides not to do the person of the year anymore. Well, I think that's a pretty popular part of their publishing company and a pretty popular part of their magazine they do every year, the person of the year. So let's say they announce we're no longer going to do that. But after public backlash, and backlash is when the public goes, no, we don't like this. We hate this. We hate this. We hate this. It's like peer pressure, but from the entire world. And so from public backlash, they reverse their decision. Okay, we'll keep it. So they completely reversed their decision. Or we had to reverse the decision to close the office. So again, where maybe a company's was wanting to move completely remote. And a lot of staff go, listen, when I have a meeting, I need a place to go to. Listen, when I need to photocopy something, I need a place to go to. Listen, it's very socially isolating to only work from home. I want an office to go to. So the company decided we're going to close our office, 100% remote, but the staff were not happy. Okay, fine, we'll keep the office open. So they completely canceled that decision to do that. A very common mistake people have is return a decision, and that's not right. I mean, you can return to a previous thought, but that would be less of reverse a decision and more reconsider a decision. Or change back a decision, it's just simply incorrect. We don't collocate those together. So reverse a decision. Okay, on to the next one here. This is a good one. Stick to a decision. So stick. I've got a post-it note here, and I'm going to put it on my computer, and it's going to stick like a sticker. It adheres to something. So if you stick to a decision, you continue supporting a decision despite any challenges or despite any new information that comes in. You're sticking to a decision. So you're adhering to it like glue, and you're not moving from that decision. So some examples here, he decided to stick to his decision and resign. Okay, so Bob walks into HR. Listen, I'm going to leave the company. And HR says, is there anything we can do to help you reconsider your decision or help you reverse your decision? And Bob goes, no, I'm leaving. I'm ready to leave. So he's sticking to his decision. He's not changing his mind at all. He's going to continue supporting his decision, no matter what they offer him or give him. Next one, we should stick to our decision, even if it's unpopular. So again, and I'm not very creative making examples. So most of my examples are going to be about pens in restaurants. If you're one of my students, you know that's all my examples have been through pens in restaurants, but they're relevant and they work. Okay, so I have a pen company. I'm going to do a whole line of glow in the dark pens. Glow in the dark pens is kind of a lime green product that you can see when the lights are out. So I'm going to make all of our pens glow in the dark. This is my new decision, and maybe staff don't like it, marketing doesn't like it, finance doesn't like it, nobody likes it, but I'm the CEO of the company and I want glow in the dark pens. I'm going to get glow in the dark pens. So I'm going to stick to my decision. So even if it's unpopular, I'm going to stay with it. I'm continuing to support it. And to stick to a decision does not mean it's good to stick to it. It does not mean it's bad. It's totally neutral. All it means is I'm going to continue with this decision. I don't care what anyone else says or other data that comes in. And I may be right to stick to a decision, or I may be wrong to stick to a decision. It's completely neutral. So you don't know the outcome there. Next one is she stuck to her decision and didn't change her mind. Okay, again, you're working in a team, and we want to maybe increase the price in one of our branches overseas. Maybe you're dealing with a client in Colombia. Hello, Colombian subscribers and watchers. So maybe the head office is in London, and they're increasing all the prices for their product across the European Union. And they have a couple different centers and branches in LATAM. And they go, okay, we're going to put into place an 18% price increase. And we get Julia, who pipes up. Pipes up means to speak in a meeting when you're usually quite quiet. So Julia pipes up in the meeting saying, listen, our market can't absorb that big increase. It's going to really ruin the sales in our market. And the head office can say, well, this is what we're doing. And so head office can stick to their decision. And Julia can say, listen, if you stick to your decision, you're going to lose a lot of loyal customers here. You're going to lose a big part of the market here if you stick to this decision. So Julia is sticking to her decision, saying, listen, this is a bad idea. I don't support this. So I don't support you sticking to this decision. I stick to my decision that we should keep the prices as is or increase a little bit. And again, the head office can say, well, no, we're sticking to our decision. And this happens a lot when you're dealing with a head office and they don't really understand different markets. So it could be a bad one. Some common mistakes here is glue to a decision. No, I mean, of course, glue makes things stick. I get that. It doesn't work in English. You can't glue to a decision, you stick to a decision. Okay, next one is influence decision. So you have this whole word influencer. Everyone knows this word influencer. They influence people. Fine. But to influence means you're going to affect people or affect something. So to influence a decision, what affected the outcome of a choice? That's exactly what it means. So I'll read you some examples here. The customer feedback influenced their decision. Okay, so again, let's go back to the previous scenario with Julia in Colombia, and she's saying, no, we absolutely cannot increase the prices here. So um, let's say then the head office in London goes, well, fine, we're still going to increase the prices. So they increase the prices, and just like Julia said, just like she forecasted, a lot of the customers were unhappy. They lost a lot of sales. They lost a lot of business. So now they've decided to offer a freebie, a bonus. They've decided to offer a huge discount on their clients' next orders. And so, what influenced that decision to do that? Well, the drop in sales, the drop in clients. So, something that made someone reach a decision or make a decision would be what influenced them. So, what made them? What's the effect of the outcome of a choice? So, price was the main factor influencing our decision. Okay, so we're going with two different suppliers for paper for the office. Fine. I don't think paper suppliers are so big anymore in our digital world, but whatever. So we're going with a new paper supplier, and hey, and maybe Nick from the paper company calls and says, listen, we've been giving you and supplying you your product for 5 years. Why are you canceling the contract? And you can say, listen, price was the main factor influencing our decision. Your competitor is offering paper at 25% less. That's a lot of money. It's just price influenced our decision. So, how you get to a decision, what affected you to take that choice, what was the outcome, and that's influence a decision. And the last example I have here is he influenced the decision by presenting strong data. Data, I say both. Data and data. Data is more North American pronunciation, and data is more British. Our world is so interconnected across globally. You can say data, neither, neither, either, either. All those are fine. You can mix them up. Meme, all those can be mixed up. Anyways, so if he, one second, I'll go my example here. He influenced the decision by presenting strong data. So the decision to do something in a presentation. And so, listen, someone's trying to say, listen, we are a line of furniture, and we need to bring in some smart furniture. And this is a very traditional company saying, well, we don't need, who needs a smart chair, and who needs a smart coffee table, who needs a smart entertainment unit? And Nick comes in and he gives a really great presentation, and he shows the data that other companies who manufacture furniture are selling this much more. Their margins are expanding. They're making more money. So the data that he showed in the presentation really influenced the decision of the company. So they said, oh, okay, yeah, okay, you're showing us strong, hard figures. You're showing us numbers. You're showing us data that this seems like a good way to go. So let's go through and do it. So he was able to influence their decision to go ahead by presenting strong data. Common mistakes is to influence on a decision. There's absolutely no preposition needed there. And again, this is hard. There's no rule. There's really no rule. You have to know influence a decision. You have to drill and repeat. Influence a decision. Influence my decision. Influence their decision. And there's no preposition. There's no on in there. So again, really, really work with these. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, at the very end, I will give you a quiz on all of these. So we'll make sure that you know them and you're getting them correctly and you know how to use them correctly. Any ones you get wrong, go back and watch that one part of the video. Train yourself, train your ears. I mean, read it, listen to it, say it, repeat it, go back and quiz yourself, and just keep watching until you're at 100%, and then you've locked in the learning and you're done with these collocations. Okay, next one down below is announce a decision. This is pretty straightforward, but some people do say a decision, and that's wrong, or publish a decision, and that's wrong. You announce a decision. Okay, so this means to publicly communicate a decision or a choice. I'll give you some examples here. The company announced its decision to expand abroad. Okay, so you have a big staff meeting, a big group meeting, and hi everyone, we've got some great, exciting news for you today. We're going to expand into Asia. Okay, so then they've now made this decision public. They announced the decision, or they announced the decision in yesterday's meeting. Okay, we're going to contract expenditures and business trips to save money this quarter. So they announced that decision in their meeting. So they made this decision public in the last meeting. So just to let people know about something. And again, you don't want to just say they said a decision. That's incorrect. You don't say a decision at all. You announce a decision. And another one here would be he announced his decision to retire early. So Peter's been with the company for many years. Usually retirements at 65. At 55, he's like, I'm done. And so he sends out a big email to the entire corporation, or if it's a smaller office, he speaks to everyone directly and he announced his decision. So he made that decision public. It's a good one. Okay, moving right along, we have two more to go, and then we're going to go into a little quiz to make sure you've locked in all of these collocations and you remember them. Again, there's no point learning English if you're not going to remember it. So as I go through here, repeat them. As I go through, follow with your eyes if you're watching the video. If you're listening to it, fine. Come back to it later. Save it. Come back to it later. Again, in the comments, I will upload all these examples I've done, all of the collocations. I will upload it and put it in the comments of this video as well. And then make sure after these two here, we're going to go on to the quiz. So make sure you got everything right in the quiz. If you didn't, zip back to that part of the video, watch that again. Remember, do the quiz again and keep repeating that until you get 100%. And then you've completely locked in your learning and you'll never make a mistake with these collocations again. It's fantastic. Okay, let's continue. Now we have justify a decision. Now to justify something means to give reasons or support a choice. Justify. Why did you buy a black pen and not a blue pen? Well, a black pen for me is a lot more professional. It can be used on a lot more forms in a lot more situations, for example. Or to justify means you're supporting your decision or that choice that you made. So justify a decision. He justified his decision with financial data. Okay, so why did you decide to buy a second warehouse for our logistics team? We already have 3 warehouses. Why did the manager or the CEO decide to buy or contract another warehouse? He has to justify his decision for that big amount of money, that big expense that he took on for the company. Well, he justified it with financial data. Listen, we are completely making a lot of money. We have a lot of contracts coming towards us. Money coming in. We have a surplus of funds. Let's use that money to grow our company. So he showed financial data that supported his decision to do that. He justified his decision. Another example, the company justified its decision to close stores. So unfortunately or fortunately, we don't know. The world's changing, right? So I'm sure in a lot of your cities, the downtown core, a lot of businesses are closing down. It's quite sad to see. This is the world we live in. So many things are online. However, so you have a chain of maybe shoe stores, and this chain in your country, maybe you have 20 of these shoe stores in the entire country. Let's say you're in Brazil and there's a line of shoes. So you have 20 locations throughout the country of Brazil. Fantastic. That's a pretty big company. Now, sales are down, costs are up for employment, for rent, for everything. So they've closed down 15 of those 20 stores. Now, staff are unhappy. They're losing their jobs. People are unhappy. So you have to justify your decision to close the store, saying, listen, these 15 stores, we've made no money for the last 5 years. We didn't come to this decision really quickly. This is over 5 years of losing money or not making money. This is why we had to do this. So you're really providing a reason that made you make that choice and justifies the decision to close the stores. Next one, she couldn't justify her decision to her team. Okay, so you have a manager and a manager says, listen, we're no longer going to talk with IT. If IT has a request that comes to us, or we send a request to IT, anything that they request of us, we're just not going to do. We're not going to do it. And the IT manager comes in saying, why are you doing that? Why is your team and my team not communicating? Why are we not working together? And if she couldn't just justify her decision, then that decision is not going to really hold. It's not really a respected decision. She has nothing to base it on. She couldn't justify it, which means it was probably just emotional. There was really no reason to support that choice that she made. Some common mistakes with justified decision would be explain a decision. Now, explain a decision is not wrong. It's just not used, if that makes sense. So it is a collocation, it's just not used. We just don't even say that. You can say, explain your decision to do this, but we very rarely say this. We'd say, justify your decision to do this. So explain a decision is not wrong, it's just not right. Not really making sense. But I mean, grammatically, it's fine. You just don't hear it as much. It's definitely not as powerful. It's definitely not as used as much as justify a decision. Next one is prove a decision. This is completely wrong. Of course, you prove something with evidence, but through proving it, you justify that decision. Okay, so you say, you're leaving the company, you're going with your competitors. Can you please justify your decision? We've given you everything you've wanted. And why are you leaving? You said you signed a contract for a year. You said you're happy here. You need to justify your decision for leaving, please. And so they have to prove or provide proof, but you wouldn't collocate that with decision. So you're going to justify your decision. You're going to provide proof and data and why you did that. Okay, the very last one I have here is to question a decision. Now, question, everyone knows question like a noun, like how are you today? That's a question. But question, if you don't know this, question is also a verb. And to question something is you express doubt about something. So I can say, oh, I'm sitting here today in Antarctica. And you can go, oh, I question that. I don't think she's in Antarctica. Not many people are sitting in Antarctica recording English speaking videos. So you're doubting what I'm saying, basically. You're questioning it. This is what it means. To question a decision means you doubt or disagree about a choice that someone made. This is to question a decision. Let me give you some examples. Some employees questioned the decision to cut the bonuses. Well, of course, employees are going to question the decision to cut the bonuses. So, times are tough. The world's difficult, like economically, and people really do have to be careful about where they spend their money, and so do companies. So, one of the first things companies are going to cut is a bonus. So, employees are going to question that, saying, why are you cutting bonuses? Why are you doing this? I doubt this is the best decision. You're going to have a lot of really unhappy staff that are probably leave the company. So they're expressing doubt, not just expressing they don't like the decision. They're like doubting it's a good decision. They're questioning. That's probably basically it's like saying this is a stupid decision. That's what it means to question a decision. If you're questioning a decision, you think that decision is stupid. You're doubting that was a good choice, or you disagree with it. So that's what it means to question decision. Put simply, it's a stupid decision. You're questioning it. So he questioned her decision to hire the candidate. Maybe a candidate comes in and the candidate has great experience, great education, but his references were awful. References were either non-existent or awful. But the HR manager really liked him in the interview. He looks good on paper, but maybe the manager of the department goes, I don't know, why are you hiring him? It's a stupid decision. It's a bad decision to hire him. His references were awful. People don't like working with him. So he's questioning her decision to hire the candidate, saying, this is a stupid, really, this is the best synonym, stupid. This is a stupid decision to do this. You can't say someone has a stupid decision in business English, right? But you can say, I question your decision. I question this. So to question someone's decision just means I don't think this is a good decision. Either I doubt that you've done your research, or I doubt that you know what you're talking about, or I completely disagree with it. Next one is they question the decision during the meeting. Okay, so there's a meeting, and we're going to now extend working hours from 10 until 5 until 10 until 6. And then all the team leads and all the managers, they're going to question management's decision, going, listen, like, I don't think this is a good idea. There's going to be unhappy staff. People have a life outside work. People aren't going to automatically be happy with this, even if you pay them. So they're doubting that this is a good decision, or they completely disagree with it. So, I mean, questioning a decision, you can even question your own decision. And it doesn't have to always be towards someone else. You make a decision, right? And you base your decision on something, and then you think, gosh, is that the right decision? I don't know if that was right. Maybe that was a stupid choice. And you're doubting yourself. If you doubt yourself, you can really question your decision. So you were headhunted by another company. You leave your company you've been with for many years to go into another company. And then after a month or two, you think, what have I done? This wasn't the best choice. Damn, what did I do? So now you're questioning your decision, and you're doubting that that was the best decision that you made. I hope you're not in that situation. I mean, we've all kind of been there. Don't we all learn from making mistakes? We all learn from it, but you can definitely question your own decision, and that works fine. Some common mistakes is to ask a decision that makes no sense. Of course, to question something is to ask about something, to ask about what something's based on, or to ask about the background of something, or you doubt something, so you're asking for more information, but you don't say ask a decision ever. And doubt on a decision, we don't use that. So you could doubt a decision. It's not as common as question decision. You could doubt a decision is good. So I doubt this is a good decision. That's okay in business English. I doubt this is a good decision. But a lot stronger, I question this decision. Okay, as promised, we have your quiz. So I'm going to go through a couple different sentences. I'm going to take out one of the verbs or one of the nouns that's used in the sentence in a collocation about decisions. All the collocations we went through, you're going to have them all here. Some are repeated because they have to be repeated to remember them. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to read a sentence, and I want you to think of what word could fit in that sentence. And then I'm going to show it to you on the screen. And of course, I'll tell you the correct answer. Okay, first sentence here. The board had to their decision after strong public backlash. The board had to their decision after strong public backlash. So the board had to stop, cancel. What's that? Do you remember that one? The board had to reverse their decision after strong public backlash. Next one. Before you choose a supplier, you should the options carefully. Before choosing a supplier, you should the options carefully. So before choosing a supplier, you should look at all the pros, all the cons, all the advantages, all the disadvantages, all the possible outcomes, the future possibilities. You should weigh the options carefully. Before you choose a supplier, you should weigh the options carefully. Did you do okay with those ones? If you did, fantastic. If not, zip back in the video to that part and review it. But we'll continue with this exam here, or quiz. Difference between an exam and a quiz. Quiz is shorter and smaller. Exam's bigger and more stressful. So this should be a quiz. Okay. Next one, the government will its decision about the new tax law tomorrow. The government will its decision about the new tax law tomorrow. So to make public a decision, they will, this is probably easier for you. The government will announce its decision about the new tax law tomorrow. Announce a decision. Okay, next one. We can't a conclusion without more data. We can't a decision without more data. So we can't a decision without more data. So we need data to find our decision. What's that verb? We can't draw a conclusion without more data. So it's like find an answer. So we can't draw a conclusion without more data. Next one, she couldn't her decision to cancel the project when asked by the shareholders. She couldn't her decision to cancel the project when asked by shareholders. She couldn't provide reasons for her decision to cancel the project. So provide reasons for someone's decision. There's one word, one verb that goes in there. She couldn't justify her decision. So when you can't provide reasons or a basis for something or why you did something, you can't justify it. So she couldn't justify her decision to cancel the project when asked by shareholders. Hope you're doing well so far. Okay, next one. It took the committee weeks to finally a decision. It took the committee weeks to finally a decision. So the committee discussed and discussed and discussed, and they met and they met and they met to a decision. So when there's a lot of communication, a lot of meetings for a decision, what's the verb? It took the committee weeks to finally reach a decision. It took the committee weeks to finally reach a decision. Next one, many employees started to the decision to cut bonuses. Many of the employees started to the decision to close, I'm reading two different sentences. Many employees decided to the decision to cut bonuses. Many employees decided to the decision to cut bonuses. Okay, so many employees started to say, is this a good idea? I'm not so sure. I doubt this is a good idea. So the verb to express that you don't think something's a good idea or you disagree with it. Many employees started to question the decision to cut bonuses. Question the decision to cut bonuses. Next one, the company decided to its decision to close the factory. The company decided to its decision to close the factory. Now they're not completely reversing their decision to close the factory, but they're changing their decision. So when you change a decision, what is it? Do you remember? The company decided to its decision to close the factory. When you're changing your choice or decision, reconsider. The company decided to reconsider its decision to close the factory. Okay, next one. The CEO had to a decision on the merger before the deadline. The CEO had to a decision on the merger before the deadline. So the CEO had to make a choice. What's the synonym to make a choice? You make a decision. The CEO had to make a decision on the merger before the deadline. Make a decision on the merger. Next one, he promised to his decision even if it was unpopular. He promised to his decision even if it was unpopular. Now here you're going to have two words. You're going to have a verb and a preposition. So a verb and a preposition meaning to glue to, adhere to, continually support. What is it? So here he promised to his decision even if it was unpopular. He wouldn't change his decision. He promised to stick to his decision even if it was unpopular. Next one, their decision on the most recent market research. Their decision on the most recent market research. So they had the most recent market research that helped them come to a conclusion, that helped them make a choice. So their decision on data, on the most recent market research, they based the foundation of their choice, the foundation of their decision. They based their decision on the most recent market research. Okay, a few more to go here. After new evidence appeared, the judge agreed to the decision. This is a repeat of one we already had before. After new evidence appeared, the judge agreed to the decision. So the judge had a decision to penalize a company for pollution, but evidence appeared that it wasn't this company that made the pollution. So after new evidence appeared, he canceled his decision. What did we say? Reverse. The judge agreed to reverse the decision. Cancel a decision, reverse a decision. And we don't say cancel a decision, but it means to say, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, next one. It's important to your decision with facts and numbers, not just opinions. It's important to your decision with facts and numbers, not just opinions. We had this already. So when you form your opinion, when you make a decision, you make a choice based on facts, numbers, data, evidence. It's important to your decision with facts and numbers, not just opinions. Base. The answer is base. It's important to base your decision with facts and numbers, not just opinion. Okay, next one. The announcement said the government had officially a decision. The announcement said the government had officially a decision. So the government's deciding whether it's going to make a cut to education, to funding education. And the government hasn't released any information on this yet. And then finally, the announcement said the government had finally a decision. So this is a simple one. This is the most common one. The government had officially made a decision. So the announcement said the government had officially made a decision. Okay, next one. The weather conditions made the decisions to proceed with the event. So you have a big outdoor event planned. However, the weather conditions made the decision to proceed with the event. So affect. So you don't say in English to affect a decision. It doesn't collocate. But what does collocate with decision? That means to affect a decision. Think of Instagram. Think of YouTube. Think of Spotify. Think of all these ones. Influence. Okay, the weather conditions may influence the decision to proceed with the event, meaning to affect. Okay, next one. Three more to go. The committee decided to a decision until the following month. The committee decided to a decision until the following month. So they decided to not make a decision now. They're going to make a decision the following month, which means the next month. So they're going to push it. They're going to delay it. So when you delay a decision, and we don't say delay decision in English, we postpone a decision. The committee decided to postpone a decision until the following month. Okay, two more to go. The manager encouraged the team to a conclusion from the report. The manager encouraged the team to a conclusion from the report. The manager gives a report to his entire team. He says, read this report and make a decision based on what's in that report, based on your understanding from that report. So they are a conclusion from the report. So they are drawing a conclusion from the report. So the manager encouraged the team to draw a conclusion from the report. Okay, one more to go. Employees expect leaders to a decision confidently and not delay unnecessarily. Employees expect leaders to a decision confidently and not delay unnecessarily. So employees expect leaders to a decision confidently and not delay unnecessarily. So here, and we're not talking about talking, so it's not reach a decision. It's the very first one. It's make a decision. So employees expect leaders to make a decision confidently and not delay unnecessarily. Okay, how did you do? Hopefully you did pretty well with these. Again, if you didn't, no problem. I put timings in my video here. You can go back and just re-listen to the one you had difficulty with. Remember in the comments, I'm going to download or upload. I'm going to upload. You're going to download. I'm going to upload all of the example sentences I had here, all the common mistakes, and I'll also include the quiz as well, so you can retest your learning on this. Thank you so much for joining me for this video on collocations. If you did enjoy this video, I encourage you to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I really do love getting comments because I can kind of teach you and I can share all my knowledge with you guys. So if you have any questions about different collocations or other parts of English collocation or business English you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll do a video on it. I'm here for you guys. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.